back in the day when the Daytona 500 was super important, when it was the most important race in America, when Dale Earnhardt won it in 1998, he won it under caution.
Jeff Gordon won his first one under caution.
Jeff won his first one under caution. There's been several Indy 500s that end under caution. It happens. It's a 500-mile race. The winner is the person that crosses the line first after 500 miles.
I don't disagree with you. The only thing I'll say is I think NASCAR, because of how strict they've got on the rules and now the spec car and the Gen 7, back in the day, you would have Hendrick, Gibbs, Penske, Roush come out, and they're half a second faster than these back markers that you're talking about. Just because they have more equipment, better employees, and you could do more. You get away with more.
And the cars would fall off.
Nowadays, it's almost the exact same car no matter where you get it. So I think you can't chalk it up all to the green, white checkers and blame it for all the wrecks and all this stuff. I think it's the car as well. These cars are so equal almost now, especially at their plate races, that it's hard to have the top teams win all these races because, like you said, it's a crapshoot, and they are so close that if they get in wrecks or they don't get the right run at the right time, then those middle tier teams are right there for the taking. And back in the day, it was not like that. 2004 Daytona 500, you had Dale Jr., Tony Stewart, Kurt Busch, and then you had randomly fucking Scott Riggs. Those four were the only four that had a chance.
Well, Scott Riggs still were there. I mean, he was what in the 10?
Yeah, I don't remember who fucking Valvoline car. That's all I know.
He was Craven's teammate.
Yeah, I think so. But
they were
2005. Jeff Gordon, Dale Jr., Tony Stewart, Jimmy Johnson, Kurt Busch, Mark Martin. They were all up there. The only people to really have a chance in that race.
I don't remember.
Nowadays, it's not like that.
Yeah, I don't remember 06, but 07, Mark Martin, Kevin Harvick.
06 was Jimmy and Ryan.
That's right.
I think.
07 was Mark and Harvick at the line.
And Harvick came out of nowhere.
Yeah. And Harvick was in one of the better cars.
Yeah.
And Mark was in one of the better cars. Yeah. Who owned that car? Is that DEI car? That Army car?
No, that was that weird team. That was the year before DEI bought that.
That's
right. I think it was the 8 car then. But I'm just saying, nowadays, these cars are just, you can't really get away from each other at these plate races. Like there's not a speed differential that you can use nowadays.
You've got to make, number one, like I said, I think green, white checkers are important, but like you said, the cars are very important. You have to make the car fall off. You have to make handling matter. Back in the day, you would see cars lead, 20 laps of the race, and then their car would fall off and they'd fall back and they couldn't hold on to the draft anymore. You'd see shit like that happen. You never see that anymore. It's hold it wide open and turn it left, and if it sticks, it sticks, and if it doesn't, you just slide up into somebody.
They don't really hold it wide open when they're in the pack.
Yeah, you're just saving gas, but you could.
Like 3/4
You could.
You could, yeah. Yeah, they could just ram into each other.
Could.
Yeah, you could just fucking all just.
But it's just, and that's why the super speedway shit is just, it's a crapshoot, and it's not. I mean, it's entertaining to watch if you don't have a horse in the race, and that's why it gets the best ratings because random people that don't watch NASCAR every week will tune in and watch it because it's a wreck fest and it's a crapshoot.
If you got a horse in the race, though. It's nerve wracking.
It sucks.
It's nerve wracking.
I told my stepdad was over watching, and it was Brad and Chris had just taken the lead with like 10 to go or whatever it was when they drove their way back up through there. 19, the caution came out with 19 to go. It was probably like 14 to go whenever they took the lead. But I looked at him and I said, "This is my least favorite race of the year." I hate watching the Daytona 500 because that that's what I said 20 times already. That if your guys do everything right, which they did, your guys do everything right to put themselves in the position to win, it still doesn't matter. It's up to somebody. And that's why I hate watching this shit, is because your fate should not be in somebody's name. Not to that extent, anyway. And that's why I think the 500 is losing its importance, because, it's a crapshoot, and it doesn't matter. As long as you're in the race, you have a chance, and it didn't used
to. Yeah. I mean, I can't argue with you. I think the 500 is losing its importance, but I think it's just more based on what NASCAR has done to these teams and restricting them, handcuffing them to what they can do with these new cars, and you can only do so much. And a lot of these restrictor plate tracks now these days, you don't have guys that are up front all day and don't really deserve to win it because they're at the right place at the right time. And back in the day, you'd have one or two of those every now and then, but for the most part, it would be the top 10, 15 drivers in the sport. So what you do, I think, is kind of what, like you said, you got to take the handcuffs off these cars and these teams and just let them go out and put what they want to put in the cars, as long as it's not egregiously like stupidly cheating. Let them do it. I mean, it's not supposed to be. We have a problem in not only NASCAR, but in this country with equality. Everything's got to be equal. Guess what? Life ain't equal. Life ain't fair. You're going to have, if you got more employees, better people, you should have faster cars and you should be able to do more with your said cars. And that goes with any people, any business, any entity you want to throw out there. If you have better people, better knowledge, more smarts, you're going to be better than the other guys. And that's just how it is. But because the way we got this country in right now, you want it to be like, okay, everything's got to be equal. Okay, I know this team can do this, or this person has the ability to do this, but this person doesn't because they don't have the resources, they don't have the money, XYZ, blah, blah, blah. Well, that's not person A's fault. That person B's goal should be trying to get to where person A is. Team A, Team B, same thing in NASCAR. Don't restrict the super teams because the small teams can't compete with them and stay up with them. That's on the small teams. That's not on the super teams. And stop restricting them from being able to, use all their resources to their advantage, or use all their resources to be able to put it out on the track. And because the way this sport and really this country has gone the past decade, like, it's not fair. So we gotta restrict these people to make these people feel better about themselves. But shit, man, life ain't fair. NASCAR has never been. There's no sport in America that is fair. I don't care what sport you want to go to. Baseball's definitely not fair. You see baseball put a salary cap on these teams with the Yankees and all. They don't do that. The Yankees got the most money in the league every year, and they can get the most high
and they still don't
free agent. They still don't win it, but that's a whole different thing. But they have the ability to do that. The Oakland A's cannot compete money-wise with the New York Yankees. So Rick Ware Racing should not be able to compete with Penske or Hendrick in the Daytona 500 to the same exact level. But they do because they think they need to do something like that.